F&W Game Club, Episode 8.
Well, the game for this week is We Happy Few, an early access Steam game.
Very few.
Yeah, and Chris, I'd like for you to start because you seem to really appreciate the game the most out of the three of us.
All right. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It's definitely, you could feel the BioShock influence.
Yeah.
And like I was saying earlier, kind of, there's a fine line between influence and outright plagiarism. I think this game's on the safe side of it.
Yeah,
Nice.
well, and on that point, we were talking about this, Chris, that I don't know how many employees, but I remember when they first really sort of revealed this game that it exists, that they mentioned that there was some ex-employees of Irrational, the makers of BioShock and BioShock Infinite, on staff there, because we all remember Ken Levine, genius but total jerk, decided, I want to make small games now. And instead of opening a new small studio, he just fired like 95% of his staff.
Wow.
So you could have a small studio.
Well, and now we have fun games like this one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. So, I mean, in short, basically, this is a survival rogue. It's
a lot of things.
It's a lot of things. It's a survival game. It's got light roguelike qualities.
It's even light on the survival, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You're right. And it's got optional permadeath. So at the beginning, you can choose whether it's a permadeath game or not. It seems like it's designed for permadeath. It has procedurally generated environments.
Oh, okay.
But those environments are designed based on 1960s England, or at least like the way 1960s England was perceived in film and movies and
It's very
pop
story-driven.
culture. Yeah, very story-driven.
And you
Although
have to
it's
get the
environmental
story.
storytelling.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that.
It's not like there's not a lot of narrative, for
But
example.
the light survival, light roguelike, that kind of falls into one of your criticisms, doesn't it?
Yeah, my criticism of it is it's like a jack of all trades and master of none to the nth degree. To the point where there wasn't one thing, for me, there wasn't one thing I could say, it's doing that thing well and that's why I'm going to like this game.
Not even the art?
Not even the art, really, because the art starts, the first 5 minutes of the game is very well stylized. First 5 minutes of the game is the best 5 minutes of the game.
Okay.
But when you get into the actual world you're going to be playing in, I feel like that art style continues, but it's far watered down. It's not as realized as those first 5 minutes.
Okay.
Well, it's also worth pointing out that this was the early access we were playing, and
Yeah, exactly.
so there's sure to be changes as it goes to full release.
Yeah, and when you beat the game, the version that exists now, you find out that it's really only half the game.
Yeah.
That the ending is basically look out for the 1.0 release when blank is going to happen.
So how much is it right now? Is it $30?
Yeah, which is probably the price of the game. It was a
Okay.
pretty steep $29.99 to pay.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So
I felt that click when I clicked OK.
So do you think the price will go up or it'll stay the same? What do you guys think?
Don't early access games stay the same price?
Yeah, usually.
Well,
Okay.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Well, I've seen a couple that actually went up in price after that.
Yeah, they do when they come. I have seen that now. I think about it. When they come to full, but those who bought it for the lesser price get the real version of the game. It's almost like a reward for being an early adopter.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Minecraft was like that. In
was
fact, it was. I had a version of Minecraft that I paid $1 for because back then you could pay whatever you wanted before it became a full release.
I think
game.
this was an odd game to do an early access for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's weird to do early access for something that's so story-driven.
Yeah, that's true. So there's environmental storytelling. There is survival elements. There's roguelike elements, especially in the procedurally generated environment. A lot of the game is based on sneaking around to solve. Basically, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of
They're kind of quests.
fetch questing.
Yeah.
Lots of fetch questing. Where you don't really know where you're fetching to. You know the thing you have to find, and you're just going everywhere to find things until you find the right
So
things.
it's a little bit reminiscent of Fallout in that sense.
Yeah, and there's some clues. There's some clues, like you'll get a clue, like, for example, find the house you can only see at night, right? And super happy. And then you get to a certain point in the game where you see a house that has a sign, and the sign is like a moon with a pill. And you're like, oh, I got to come back here at night on the joy pill, and and then this is where I'm supposed to be for that one thing, but you have to kind of randomly come across it. It's what I've been calling all week search and loot as opposed to shoot and loot.
Yeah.
So you're just searching and you're looting, and while you're looting You want to make sure that nobody knows you're not on the joy drug, or you want to take the joy drug when you have to. That's kind of the premise of the game. The whole world is on this drug that
The joy pill.
that changes your perception of reality. It makes the really bad world you're in look really good.
Yeah, and that kind of comes out like within the first couple of minutes,
Yeah.
right, of gameplay.
Right.
Yeah.
And when people realize you're not on the joy drug, they flip out. And so there's a lot.
One of them faints.
So on the game's website, they call it you have to mix conformity and stealth. That you have to conform to seem like you're on the joy drug, but at the same time stealth your subversion of the system.
And as I was watching this, someone play it actually, because I didn't play it. That's why I sound very ignorant about it. But it sounded like even your wardrobe that you're wearing as a character, torn clothes or good clothes, it affects your interaction with other people in the world, right?
Yeah, there's different clothes to craft essentially that are useful in different parts of the map.
Okay.
So because there's parts of the map that are more run down, and you want to look bad there, and then
you
there's
don't want
parts
to
of
stand out.
right, and then there's parts of the map that are doing well, and you want to look nice there.
It's kind of a
That
mix
sounds
between
interesting.
1984 and Equilibrium. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, I
Christian Bale?
love Equilibrium.
So they have to take their pills, and then but it's got a lot of 1984 influence.
Yeah.
Nice.
So as Chris alluded already, the problem with me was there wasn't one element of the game that I could fall in love with. I saw that it was doing all these things at once, and I couldn't fall in love with any of it.
Okay.
That everything seemed to be 50% of what it should be, because it was doing so much. And I'm not the kind of person really. I like environmental storytelling, but I like a clear narrative where environmental storytelling might fill gaps. I don't want the whole story to be environmental. I don't want to have to read tons of documents and like notes everywhere to get the full story, like to get 100% of the story.
You don't want to have to look for cards offline.
No, like I like it.
I love that kind of stuff, man. So.
See, like I liked BioShock storytelling where there's like a clear narrative,
But then you can figure out more.
right? You get the aha moments from finding things here and there.
Unlike Destiny.
Yeah, same thing with like Deus Ex Mankind Divided, although with Deus Ex Mankind Divided it goes a little bit too much into the environmental stuff in my opinion.
So I guess it's safe to say if you really like to kind of uncover the story on your own, this would probably be up your alley right here.
And it's definitely one of those games. There seems to be a growing trend among gamers that they like games that don't tell you what to do at all. That the game is just like, figure out what you're supposed to do. Figure out what this game is. Figure out the mechanics yourself.
Kind of like the
figure out
NES.
how to do everything yourself.
Oh, like we saw with Pony Island.
right, with Pony Island.
Yeah, that was fun.
You know, but definitely Minecraft started that. Like Minecraft has 0 instructions. If you need instructions for Minecraft, you got to get it somewhere else.
You gotta go to the wiki.
Yeah, and that's We Happy
Or buy
Few
the
is very
books.
similar to that, isn't it?
So what's our vote?
Well, okay, so we usually vote based on whether you shouldn't buy it, whether you should wait for sale, or you should buy it full price, or go the extra mile and support them beyond full price.
Okay.
I'm going to say wait for sale, because I thought $29.99 stung a little bit too much for what this kind of game is,
Okay.
and I was not in love. And I don't want to say it's so bad that you shouldn't play it at all. I'm not hating on the game, but it's a sale for me.
Okay. I would say $29.99 for me. I'm definitely gonna buy it at this price. It does sound like the kind of game that I enjoy because I like kind of exploring the world and kind of trying to piece together the story behind it.
Yeah.
So I would say yes, get it. So I'm definitely gonna get it myself as well. So, what about you, Chris?
I would say if you're into this type of thing, then go ahead and get it, but wait for the full release. I wouldn't do the early access.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, it's also very glitchy. It's an early access game. You expect this kind of thing. So if you're trying to play a full game, beware. It's very glitchy.
There's no advantage to doing the early access, really.
Right.
It's not like an
Except the
MMO
price,
where
maybe.
you can kind of get to know where things are and have an advantage when the official release comes out.
Yeah, and if you play it before full release, realize that you're playing actually about half the game, or at least I don't even know if it's half. It seems like you're playing Act 1.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many acts there's going to be. I mean, if it turns out this is Act 1 and there's like 5 acts, I totally take my score back and say it's probably worth $29.99. But if this is more like half the game, I'm going to keep to my score.
That's why I'm saying wait, but check it out again at the full release.
So, okay, well, let's announce what the next game is. I forgot to do this the last few weeks, right?
Yeah.
The next game is going to be Make America Great Again, the Trump presidency.
Oh, what
It's so good. It releases tomorrow for us
Oh, jeez.
because we record early, and we're gonna play it this week. We're gonna be on the ball with this game first hitting, and we are going to
See
talk
who
about
can
it on
destroy
Sunday.
America the most.
Yeah, this is gonna be
Nice.
awesome. So play it with us. Send any comments or requests or observations to fandwgameclub@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. All of that stuff's in the description. You can find all of us personally there too. So have a great day.